Plenty of room. Where's the real place? That's the icing on the cake.
And then suddenly...
Yeah. No, we won't tend to go. It is a bit surreal, but I think when I started learning about what was happening, I remember feeling like there was fire in my belly.
Yeah.
And there was something coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. Like,
No.
sounds really weird. But it was like a birdie. And I feel like the birdie is now very much on fire. Everything is burning.
Absolutely. And I was... None of that burn.
I'll go ahead of you, okay then? See you second. I've got to get, you and I've got to get the shot right thinking over. No, they're giving it to you.
But now there's someone...
I don't think ever been this much progress.
I don't know. Can we line it all? But I know that at the equivalent point of Victorian campaign, there wasn't anywhere near this amount of focus staff.
We'll definitely have face like today.
So... I'm not like... When are you going to go to Malaysia?
She's they're in your hoodies.
Are you going for a couple of weeks? Well, I'm actually going to do a month.
Wow.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Just a little bit. Pick it up a little bit. Come on, please. A little bit.
What time is it?
9-2. Who is the Premier? Thank you.
Mr. Jensen will be your own personal nurse.
Thank you so much. Spun bar, please.
James.
Oh, that was good. Oh, just CPR? CPR and spun bar? No. Hey, Shane. Yes? See you back in the harness doing your old job.
Belinda! Yeah, thanks.
Good job, thank you. Down the stairs, and then just yep, through here.
And then I get the butt basket. Go sideways. And you guys are so good looking right now, you have no idea. 100 more steps in 3 minutes. That's it. Oh man. Hi everyone. This is for the painted right?
Made it.
Made it. Who's been giving me amazing support. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And thanks for being a part of this today. Yeah. All right.
Hey, Belinda. How are you? Welcome to Perth. Great to see you again.
Belinda.
This way, oh, that's right in front. Right. No,
Andrew.
she's going to see there.
Through here, through here. Yep.
Oh my god. Oh wow.
Fabulous to meet you. Good to see you, Linda. Okay.
No, just another day.
Hanging out with some friends. So I brought some friends with me.
You did?
I can't take all the credit. I can't really tell.
How you feet?
It's still attached. Body and getting throttled by
You know, some of them are on their own. So shall we get on with this?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Parliament. Welcome all of Belinda Tay's friends and well-wishers. Can I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we meet, the Noongar people, and acknowledge their elders past and present. It's wonderful to be here on Noongar country today. To kick proceedings off, I take great pleasure in inviting our first speaker to the microphone, the Premier of Western Australia, Mark McGowan.
Hey, thanks everyone, and can I thank everyone for coming out today, but particularly today is Belinda's Day. What an unbelievable effort. I met Belinda a few months ago in my office before she headed off on her expedition to Melbourne and then to walk 4,500 kilometres across the country, and today she has arrived and she looks marvellous, doesn't she? Pretty sure if I walked 4,500 kilometres I would not look that good. We're so proud of you, Belinda. Belinda has walked 4,500 kilometres. She has been through 4 pairs of shoes. She's met people along the way across Australia. She started at the Victorian Parliament and she was farewelled by Premier Andrews of Victoria, and he indicated at that point in time she was going to take more than 3 million steps to get here. And she's done this for a wonderful, marvellous cause, and she's done it in honour of her mother. And I'd like to thank Belinda on behalf of all of us and say what an extraordinary effort it was to bring attention to a very good cause and to bring attention to something that so many West Australians would like to see happen. Along the way, I'm sure Belinda has thought about the loss of her mother, and it's something that has clearly deeply affected her, and she has done this on the basis that she'd like to see other people across our community not go through the extreme pain and agony that her mother went through when she passed away. And I can think of no greater love, expression of support, acknowledgement that could possibly be undertaken than what Belinda has done in honour of her mother. And for that, we should all be so proud of her. Well done, Belinda. Today we will introduce into the Parliament our voluntary assisted dying laws. These are about showing kindness and compassion for those West Australians who are in their last weeks, days or months of life. It's about ensuring that those people who choose not to suffer an agonising death can make that choice. It's the ultimate act of personal choice. It's the ultimate act of kindness and compassion. And it allows an individual themselves to make that choice in relation to their own life and to avoid a very painful end. There are thousands of people out there in our community, probably hundreds of thousands, who have seen loved ones die in awful circumstances. And we want to ensure that those families and those people can avoid that painful end that is avoidable if they choose to do so.
Hear, hear.
And there will be a long debate and it will be a difficult debate. But that's the crux of the issue, allowing people individually to choose their own end if they're in pain and they're terminally ill. Now, Belinda has passed the baton to us. It's now up to the Parliament of Western Australia to make its decision. I look forward to a strong but respectful debate. I personally hope very much that this issue is resolved by the end of this year. The Parliament makes a decision, and I hope the Parliament makes the right decision. Thank you so much, Belinda, for all your effort. It's marvellous.
Holy guacamole. Good afternoon to you all, and thank you for being here to share this moment with me. To Premier Mark McGowan, Health Minister Roger Cook, Malcolm McCuskey QC and our other WA political leaders here today, thank you for being here. To Lisa Harvey, the leader of the WA Liberal Party, your presence here today means a lot to me, and it would have meant a lot to my mum as well. It's only fitting that I end my journey today by telling you how it started. The proudest moment of my life as a daughter was 3 years ago, on the 11th of March 2016. Mum had been diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. It had spread through her bone marrow into her back, where a tumour grew so big that it fractured her spine in 2 places. She was vomiting from the chemo, her hair was falling out, and she would often scream and cry out in pain despite optimal palliative care. My mum, once beautiful and unconquerable, was crumbling before my eyes. That day, her oncologist broke the news that she had several weeks left to live. In response, she asked her doctor, "Can you help me to go quicker?" Broken and battered, in a moment where life had delivered the ultimate blow, my mum still found the courage to ask for help. Her request was denied, as was a second request made 3 days later to her palliative care consultant, because we don't have a voluntary assisted dying law in Western Australia. She went on to die away in a way that will haunt me for the rest of my life. She died with her eyes wide open, grasping for air, and spent her last 4 hours on earth twitching in a bed in a specialist palliative care facility in Metro Perth. She died on Easter Sunday at 8 AM with sun streaming through the window. There are some things that we cannot change, and then there are things that we can. Today, a bill to allow voluntary assisted dying will be introduced, with debate expected over the coming weeks and months. This is a bill that would give dying Western Australians the option of avoiding unnecessary pain and suffering, and I expect it's the kind of law that would have helped my mum. My message to WA politicians is this: the next few months will define the future of voluntary assisted dying in our country, and what happens next is up to you. This is your chance to make Australia a more compassionate place. After walking across our state, I've arrived back home with 3 messages ringing in my ears from my fellow West Australians. The first message is, we are ready to stop talking the talk, and we're ready to start walking the walk. Western Australians are very engaged with this debate, as you can see. They know what they want, and they support voluntary assisted dying, and they understand all of the arguments for and against. The second message is that we are ready to stop following and to start leading. The third message, my favourite one, is this. When you love someone, you should hold on to them with everything you've got. But sometimes you have to love them enough to let them go.
Yeah. Yes. You. Yeah.
To everyone here today, for every person who has supported me along the way, and for everyone interstate and overseas who will later say this on Facebook, thank you for making me realise that I'm not alone. I've lost my mum, but I found a family. To my fellow West Australians in particular, my message is this for you. Be brave, WA. Change is possible. But we have to be brave enough to speak up. And that's exactly what you've done today. The single most powerful thing you can do is to talk to each other and to your local politician who represents you. Don't do it for me. Do it for the people in our community who can't do it for themselves. To my mum's palliative care team who cared for her, as well as her palliative care consultant and her oncologist who refused her request for medical assistance to die in 2016. Thank you for doing everything that you could have for my mum. Thank you for your kindness and care, for looking after my mum the way you would have for your own family. I've decided to donate 20% of all donations received from my walk to palliative care services in WA as a token of thanks from me and my mum. To Andrew Jenton and the team at Go Gentle Australia, thank you for believing in me. To Kiki, Steve, Joey and the countless others who have worked around the clock for months to make this walk possible, thank you for helping to create a better conversation around death and dying in our country. A special thank you as well to Die with Dignity WA for being the voice of Western Australians who want choice for the past 40 years and counting. I'm in awe of your dedication to this cause. To my partner of 5 years, Flo, the first person who supported my crazy idea to walk across Australia for voluntary assisted dying, I would not be standing here if it wasn't for you. Last October, Flo and I got engaged, and we set our wedding date for June 2019, which was a couple of months ago. And Flo agreed to postpone our wedding indefinitely so that I could do this walk. Thank you for driving behind me at 5 kilometres per hour for 70 days straight across Australia. And last but not least, to my mum. Thank you for being the bravest person I'll ever know. I'm sorry that I couldn't do more when you asked for help, but I hope I've made up for it. I wish you were here to see this, but in my heart I know that you've never left me, that you've been by my side for every one of those 3 million steps, helping me to find my way home. I miss you every day, and I will spend the rest of my life sharing your message that the bravest thing of all is to hope. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our formal proceedings. 3 cheers for Belinda. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hooray! Thank you very much.
Good idea.